Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Soma Sports Broadcast. I'm Benny and I'm here with
Philip.
So, if you don't know, we are the Soma Sports Broadcasting Club and we're still looking for members. So, if you've been watching what we have been doing and you're interested in joining, come to a Wednesday meeting in the Athletic Conference Room. That is where we meet and record. That's currently where we are right now. And if you have ideas for our episodes, feel free to comment below, like future ideas for us to predict or just discuss or debate. Let's get started. So, the Somers Tuskers took on the Rye Garnets a few weeks ago in the Section 1 Class A Championship, and it wasn't long before the first touchdown where it was the Garnets who got it to go up 7-0, a touchdown for Tucker Hess of the Garnets. Then Miguel Iglesias goes for a long one to the end zone to tie the game at 7 for Somers. Carson Miller for the Garnets then throws to Andrew Whitmoth, who runs it in for a touchdown for the Garnets to go up 14-7 for the last score of the first half. So Garnets leading 14-7 at halftime. A few drives, however, into the second half. Miguel Iglesias runs it in for another touchdown to tie the game at 14. And early in the fourth quarter, Miguel Iglesias throws to Cameron Violante for a touchdown, and the Tuskers go up 21-14. Miguel Iglesias then continues his great night and runs it in the end zone for his third rushing touchdown for Somers to take the lead 28-14. And Miller throws it to Brett Kennedy, who runs it back for a touchdown for Somers, a pick six for Brett Kennedy, the Tuskers to take the lead 35-14. Then the Garnets score one more touchdown for pride at the end of the game, and the Somers Tuskers, they are Section 1 champions as they take the win 35-21 and will advance to states. And now, as we're recording this a few days later than usual, Tuskers took on Averill Park, and this is what happened. So the first drive, Averill Park marched right down the field, led by Kilgallen and Phelps, for Averill Park to go up 8-0. And that was the first drive, no score till the second quarter. In the second quarter, Miguel Iglesias throws it to Palazzolo, who gets the touchdown. It's now a 7-8 game. In the third quarter, Miguel Iglesias runs it in for a touchdown for Somers to go 13-8, then runs it in for a 2-point conversion for the Tuskers to go up 15-8. Still a one-score game, close game for the Tuskers, but the Tuskers get back the ball. Then Miguel Iglesias runs it in for another touchdown for the Tuskers, go up 21-8. Then in the play of the game to help seal the victory, Miguel Iglesias throws it deep to Dean Palazzolo, takes it all the way to make it a 29-8 game. What a play. It was a Hail Mary type play. And so now 29-8. Finally, the official last play of the game was when Kilgallen threw the ball to Aiden Cooligan for a game-sealing interception, and the Tuskers advanced to Cornwall Central. The game, we will be broadcasting it this Friday, starting at 6 p.m. This episode does come out after that game, and we play on Cornwall Central, who's coming off a big win against Vessel. Alright, folks, so now we are going to be predicting my New York State Class A Varsity Football State Championship bracket. This is made before this past weekend of the first rounds of the game. So first I have Somers and Averill Park. I have Somers winning it 34-14. Somers wound up winning that 29-8. Cornwall Central versus Vessel. I had Cornwall Central winning 28-13. The Horseheads take on Whitesboro, and I have Whitesboro winning that 28-27. Brighton takes on Sweet Home, and I had Brighton winning it 21-7. Somers now takes on Cornwall Central, and this is my prediction for this weekend as the Tuskers take on Cornwall Central. I have the Tuskers getting it done 28-16. Whitesboro takes on Brighton, and I have Brighton winning it 40-24. And now in the state championship, the Tuskers take on Brighton, and I have the Tuskers three-peating and once again becoming Class A state champions to win 35-20 in the championship.
So I think we have semi-similar bracket. So first Somers versus Averill Park. Obviously, I'm going to go with Somers. Then we have Vestal versus Cornwall Central. I think Cornwall Central is going to take this one. And then in G3, we have Horseheads versus Whitesboro. I'm going to go Whitesboro. I think they're a pretty good overall team. And then lastly, we have Sweet Home versus Brighton. I'm going to go with Brighton on this one. Seems like the obvious answer. And then next, we're back. We got Somers versus Cornwall. I obviously think Somers is going to take it. Promise I'm not biased. And we got Whitesboro versus Brighton. I'm going to go with Brighton on this one. And then finally, you have Somers versus Brighton. I think Somers is going to three-peat and take it.
Hey, so unfortunately I couldn't be with the guys for the recording of this week's episode, but that's okay. I'll just do it virtually. So I've got my playoff bracket prediction for New York State Class A football, and we're going to start with game one. We got Somers against Averill Park. I have Somers winning that game. Vestal versus Cornwall Central. I think Cornwall Central is going to win. Then we have the Horseheads versus Whitesboro. I have Whitesboro winning that game. And Sweet Home versus Brington. I have Brington winning that game. So now we are on to the next round of the playoffs, Game 5 and Game 6. It's going to be Somers against Cornwall Central in Game 5. Somers is going to win that game, punching their ticket to the state championship up at Syracuse. And then I have Whitesboro against Brington again in Game 6 here. I think Whitesboro is going to win that, bringing Whitesboro to the state championship against Somers, and I believe Somers is going to do it again and win the state championship.
All right, folks, so not doing the fastest 3 minutes this week, so we're just going to recap one game each for you guys. So this weekend, the Chiefs took on the Panthers, and the Panthers played the Chiefs tough. It came down, tied at 27, but what you do not want to see against the Chiefs is Mahomes with the ball in the final drive to be able to run the clock out so the Chiefs could kick the field goal to win 30-27, and that is exactly what happened as the Chiefs. It was a close game. Panthers did win coming into this game, did win 2 in a row, but Chiefs are able to hold on. But an ugly win for the Chiefs, a team that's 10-1, surprising that it was so close to the Panthers.
So, how about that Monday night game, recording this the day after? Jim Harbaugh versus John Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh, both great coaches, both brothers. Ravens came out on top. I think the Chargers were up 10-0, but then the Ravens just came back. Quentin Johnson, who I have on one of my fantasy teams, dropped, 3 passes, which probably would have put him into overtime, but, it's Quentin Johnson, so you can't really do anything about that. But Ravens came out on top. John Harbaugh beat Jim Harbaugh 30-23.
Yeah, and John Harbaugh is now 3-0 against Jim Harbaugh in the NFL.
So now we have some news about Daniel Jones. My dad's and a bunch of people in Somers are Giants fans. Daniel Jones has been released. He saw some snaps playing safety, but now he's been released, cleared waivers, so now he's on waiver wire, so anyone can pick him up. So the top teams that I think would, take him, pick him up, be their backup, maybe even their starter. I think the Ravens can do it. I see Daniel Jones kind of like a very budget Lamar Jackson, very schemed around the running play, around the run book, so I think that he could definitely go to the Ravens. Another team, I think maybe he can go to the Titans. Maybe he could do something with Will Levis. Obviously, that'd be not the best quarterbacks, but I think that'd be pretty good. And then finally, I think he can go to the Vikings. If Sam Darnold doesn't do too good with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and T.J. Hawkinson, I think that'd be a pretty good thing for him, pretty good setup for him.
All right, and some news in F1. The F1 championship has happened, and the new champion is crowned. And it's not a new champion. He's now won 4 championships. Max Verstappen is your 2024 F1 champion.
So now we have Week 13 game predictions. I have Ravens-Eagles. I think this is going to be game of the week. This is a great game. 2 very high-powered offenses, the best running backs in the league. I'm going to take... You know what? I'm actually going to go with the Ravens on this one. I had the Eagles. Saquon Barkley put up 46 points last fantasy week, which is incredible. But I'm still going to go with the Ravens. They just won against the Chargers, so I think they're going to use that momentum to beat the Eagles. What about you, Benny?
All right, folks, so I did 3 games. So first, Ravens and the Eagles. I see this game being a shootout, and I think it's going to come down right to the end. Going to have an exciting great game. 2 great quarterbacks, 2 great offenses. Defenses are good too, but offenses are better. I think that is going to show in this game. And I think it's going to be, as time expires, Justin Tucker kicks a game-winning field goal in a shootout to win 40-39. Crazy game. Then we have the Cardinals taking on the Minnesota Vikings, and I think I think the Cardinals are going to beat the Vikings. Cardinals, Vikings, both similar teams. The Vikings are 9-2, Cardinals are 6-5, but I could see an upset in this one, the Cardinals taking it 23-17. And for my final game for Week 13, I have a Thanksgiving matchup, the Cowboys taking on the Giants. And you know what? I know the Cowboys just won last week, but it's football for you. I see Tommy DeVito showing up. It's going to be a defensive, very boring Thanksgiving game, but it's going to be a close game as the Giants win 17-16.
All right, for my Week 13 NFL prediction, I have the Lions versus the Bears, and I think the Lions are going to win that game 38-28.
So now we have our best game of this past week. I think it was the Lions versus the Jags. The Lions dropped 52 on the Jags. I think they could have stopped. I mean, they could have put their bench in. They could have dropped their starters for a little bit, but no, kept going. I think it was 52-6 something. That was just crazy, man. The Lions are looking insane. I think they have the best offense in the NFL. They have the best running back duo, obviously, and Jared Goff is doing really good. So that was just an insane game.
And I gotta go with Somers beating the Garnets. Just an impressive win by Somers. They really rallied in the second half, down 14-7, and they scored 28 unanswered, led by Miguel Iglesias. And now the Tuskers are back in the state bracket to fight for another championship.
Hey guys, we're here with James Moriello and Christian Labasso. They're on track team, cross country. So we're just going to be talking to them about their experience today. Philip, why don't you get started?
So our first question that we have is, how long have you both been running at Somers for?
You go first.
All right. I've been running since freshman year. I've been doing distance, and I started my fall season of freshman year for cross country, and then I did winter track and then spring track.
Running, I started distance last year for the cross country season, so almost a year and a half.
All right, and what event are you guys doing in track?
In track, in the
Winter
season, I'm doing the 1,000 and the mile, and I don't like the 2 mile. 2 miles pretty bad. I don't like it. And then spring, it's usually the mile and the 800. So yeah.
My answers are pretty much the same. 1,000, mile, 2 mile. I might have me running some shorter distances for the relays, but I don't really know yet.
So what have you both done to improve your speed and get faster over time?
So I go to practice every day, and then afterwards I like to train for a little over an hour or around that, depending on the day, and just consistently training, as well as good diet, good amount of sleep.
I mean, you just gotta push yourself to practice, no matter if it's a workout, which is a more extensive run, or whether it's a long run, which is more relaxing. You just gotta be aware of your body. Just make sure that you're not gonna push yourself too much though, because you don't want to hurt yourself. So yeah.
Yeah, and so what are some of your greatest accomplishments as runners, James?
I got sub 20 minutes for the 5K, which is 3.1 miles. I got 19 minutes and 40 seconds around there. And so that was a huge accomplishment for me. But I think what's even better is that in my mile for track, I got a 5:30 something mile. So that was really helpful for me.
So I did the 2 mile in spring track, and I was newer to it, and I still managed to get 10:12, which is really good, and put me right into sectionals. And then another time would be my mile time, which was 4:45 as of my school year. But yeah, those are my greatest ones.
So what are your current goals that you set for yourself on the track as runners?
One goal would be to, this season and spring season, is probably get a sub 5 minute mile, which is really hard, so I don't know how I'm gonna accomplish that, but I'm gonna just try and work hard. But yeah, and also I'm gonna try and improve in cross country by beating my current PR.
So I have 2 sets of accomplishments. Right now I'm focused on my time in the 1K, and the 2 mile time I want to make around below 240 or something like that, get to state quals there. And then I also want a sub 10 2-mile, which I believe I could get. But another thing is thinking ahead. I want to be able to finish my high school career, being able to go to a competitive division in college, either D1 or D2.
And what impacts do you try to leave on others to help them strive to become better runners themselves?
It's a hard question. I mean, I think that our team is really good at helping other kids that are younger than us. So we have a couple freshmen that are joining winter track, but in cross country, we really got to know the freshmen. We really wanted to know them as people and friends, because we don't want to kind of exclude them because we're upperclassmen, And so we tried to incorporate them in everything we did, so that way we can create a relationship between them. And so I think that strengthens our team and strengthens our, if our team is strengthened, then so are athletic goals, I think. So that kind of helped out.
Totally.
For me, distance running, because we don't really have a sprinter here, but distance running is painfully mentally and physically. So we've had a lot of people get unencouraged at times or feel bad. I think as a team, we're very friendly and we're able to keep people engaged and encouraged to keep going. I think there's been a few cases where we've been able to do that. It's been pretty nice.
So, last question. What do you think a runner should be doing mentally? Because it's very mentally challenging. What do you think they should be doing mentally to be the best that they can be?
I think they should keep a positive attitude. Whenever I see someone after a race down on themselves, I think they need to look at the bright side and that they finished the race even though it was challenging probably for them. And just keep a good mindset, because if you have a negative one, you're never going to exceed your expectations,
I think a lot of runners, when they finish poorly or if they do bad, they think that they can't do it and that they've reached their limit. I think a lot of people should know, or they should keep in the back of the mind, that there's always room for improvement, and that even if they did bad, they're still going to get better as long as they keep going.
All right. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.
Alright, folks, so now since there's gonna be no episode next week due to the Thanksgiving week, we are gonna predict NFL Week 14 games.
So I have one game this week. I have Bengals Cowboys. I think this is going to be a blowout by the Bengals. I mean, the Cowboys are starting Cooper Rush. I mean, that's not really going to do too much for you. And the Bengals have one of the best offense in the league. They have Joe Burrow. Statistically wise, he's the best quarterback. He's top touchdowns, top in yards. He's throwing to Jamar Chase. So I think it's going to be around maybe 35 or maybe even 42-14. And I think the Bengals are going to take that. What about you, Benny?
Alright, and I think, so I'm going to predict that game as well, in addition to a few others. So I have the Bengals taking on the Cowboys, and I think Bengals dominate. It's going to be not an exciting game. Cowboys, I think, are going to keep it close. I think it'll be 10-10 at one point, but I think the Bengals will pull away at the end to win 24-10. Now we have the Dolphins taking on the Jets, and I think the Dolphins get that one done. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets just show that it wasn't meant to be for them to do great this year, and the Dolphins are going to win that one 27-19. And then we have the Chiefs taking on the Chargers, and I think Justin Herbert, the Chargers are going to play them tough, but in Chiefs fashion, they are going to get down the field just like they did this past week to kick the game-winning field goal, this time to win 27-24.
All right, next I have my Week 14 NFL game prediction. I have the Browns and Steelers, and I have the Browns winning that game 28-21.
All right, folks, so last episode we had our fantasy challenge, and here are the results. So in first place was me with 121.04 points. In second was Philip with 62.48 points. In third was Jaden with 57.14 points. And in last place was Brandon with 56.04 points. All right, folks, so now on to our GOAT debate. Who is the GOAT of the NFL and why? So I'm going to get started off. Tom Brady, just for obvious reasons. He's done everything. He's won more Super Bowls than a single team. 6 with the Patriots, 1 with the Buccaneers, and there's not really much to say. He's just proven that he is the true GOAT and has all the records. He has the most passing touchdowns, passing yards. It just goes on and on for him. So, and I'm a big Tom Brady fan as well. But for obvious reasons, Tom Brady is the GOAT for the NFL. Philip, what do you think?
I was going to say Tom Brady too, but I like keeping it interesting. I'm going with someone who I think is actually really good. I think he's so close to Brady. I think if he just had a better team, he would be right neck and neck with him. I'm going to go with Drew Brees. I mean, he was a really good quarterback. He was catching up in almost all statistics. He didn't really have as much as a team. He had a pretty good team, but I think that if he had the weapons and the defense and the coaching that Brady had, I think he would have been right neck and neck, and he would have had basically almost, if not the exact same statistics as him.
And I believe that Tom Brady is the GOAT of the NFL because I just don't think there's anyone else you really can pick after all he's done in the NFL for the Patriots. Mainly the Patriots, a little bit the Bucks, but mainly the Patriots there.
Alright, so besides Patrick Mahomes, are there any current NFL players you could see being the GOAT, like GOAT level, like Brady, Manning, and Jerry Rice level? And why?
My current NFL player, besides Patrick Mahomes, that could be a GOAT would be Lamar Jackson. He's a great running game. He loves to run, and he's overall a really good quarterback. He scores a lot, so I think that's a really good choice for a GOAT in the NFL besides Patrick Mahomes.
So I think actually it's totally not biased. I'm a Bills fan, but I'm obviously gonna go Josh Allen. I mean, he could do everything. He could run the ball, he could hurdle defenders, he could stiff arm, he could throw it, he could sling it 70 yards. I mean, he's a great quarterback. Right now his receivers are Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, and Curtis Samuel, and they're 9-2, 10-2. Their record's amazing. They're doing so good right now. And I think without Josh Allen, that'd be like maybe bottom 10, 15 team. So my future GOAT, I think, is Josh Allen. What about you, Benny?
Alright, so I'm going to say two. So Joe Burrow reminds me of, first of all, young Tom Brady. He has a great playing style, and he already made it to a Super Bowl. And I feel like, even though the Bengals have been really unlucky this season, I feel like Joe Burrow has a bright career. He's already shown flashes of a superstar and that he could be a GOAT. I believe that Super Bowl win's coming one day for him. And then other player I'm going to say is C.J. Stroud. He already, since being drafted, turned the Texans franchise around. And he's been playing like a star since his first start. And now he's already, just in his second season, on the same level as a QB compared to Lamar, Burrow, Hurts. That's only season 2 of his career. And I think he's only just going to get better. Alright, folks, so now we're on to the NBA, and this has been an exciting NBA season, and I made my top 10 power rankings. I'm going to have to update this list a little bit due to last night's results. I'm recording this on Wednesday, the November 20th, so these are my power rankings as of that date. So, at number 10, I have the Timberwolves. They've looked good, but not as great as they were in one of the playoffs last year. At number 9, I have the New York Knicks. At number 8, I have the Magic, who is on a 5-game winning streak, I believe. Then we have the Rockets at number 7. Number 6, I have the Suns. Durant, Booker, leading the team. They've been playing good. Then I have at 5 the Lakers, a surprise so far this year. Lakers at number 5. And now at number 4, I have the Thunders. Number 3, I have the Warriors. And the Warriors' new strategy of starting all the players on their team throughout the game at like some point in time, it's been working out for them, and they're top in the West currently. Then at number 2, I have the previously undefeated Cavs, who just lost to the number 1 team in my power rankings. Of course, you got my Boston Celtics. So those are my power rankings for the NBA for this week, and I want to point out 2 big disappointments in NBA so far this season. So the Bucks sitting at 4-9, surprise. Giannis, the Bucks just haven't been playing the best. And the 76ers, they've got some issues to figure out, sitting at 2-11.
Alright, I'm here today to predict the rest of the Steelers' NFL schedule for this year. So our next game is going to be Thursday, 11/21. It's going to be Steelers against the Browns. Steelers are going to win that game. Next week, Steelers-Bengals. Steelers are going to win that game as well. Then, just 2 weeks after playing the Browns, the Steelers play the Browns again, and I believe that they will win that game too. Then, the Steelers will play the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to come out on top on this one. They got Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. I think that's going to go well for them. Then we got Steelers-Ravens. I have the Ravens winning that. Chiefs-Steelers, that'll be an interesting game. The Chiefs love to win all the time. Yeah, and I think they're going to continue to do that. I have Steelers going on a bit of a losing streak towards the end of the season as their games are going to get a little tougher. And for their last game of the NFL season this year, Bengals-Steelers, I have the Steelers taking this game to end their season, probably going into the playoffs.
What's good, everybody? I'm going to be finishing out the Lions regular season records prediction. So now, right here, Sunday, November 24th, we have Lions versus Colts. This should be one of, if not the easiest win for the Lions. I think the Colts are looking pretty good. We just beat the Jets in a pretty close game, but I think the Lions are going to take it. Next, we got a divisional game, Bears versus Lions. Honestly, this should be pretty easy. It's in Ford Field, so I think they're going to have the advantage there. Next, we have another divisional game with Packers versus Lions in Ford Field. This should be a pretty good win. I think it'll be a pretty good game, but I think the Lions are going to sweep them. They're looking phenomenal. Next, I think this is game of the week, maybe game of the month. Lions, Bills, Super Bowl. A couple people are looking forward to. I know I am myself. I'm going to go with the upset here. I know the Lions are supposed to win maybe 60% to 40% on ESPN. I'm going with the Bills. I love the underdogs. I'm a Bills fan, so I'm going to take them. Next, we got Lions versus Bears. This isn't in Ford Field. This is an away game, but I still think Lions are going to take care of it, and I think they're still going to sweep them. Next, second to last week of the season, you got Lions versus 49ers, an NFC champion rematch. This time, I think the Lions are going to come out on top. They've been looking much better and much more better than they used to be this year. Much better record, and they're going to do outstanding. Next, we have Vikings-Lions. Last game of the season. It could go either way. Vikings might be trying to get into the playoffs, so I am going to give it to the Vikings. I think the Lions might be resting their starters, but who knows? Dan Campbell's just like that. He might just start all of them. So that's my Lions record prediction for this season.
Alright, folks, so now I'm going to be predicting the Cincinnati Bengals schedule for the rest of the 2024 season. The Bengals are a team that I'm going to call unluckiest team of the entire NFL season so far. And as they currently sit at 4-7, so many close games they should have won, they lost. They're a team that has looked better than the 8-3 Steelers, as good as the Ravens. Be able to only lose to the Chiefs by 1 point. They've just been really unlucky. But let's get started. Currently sitting at 4-7. Week 12 is the bye week. But week 13, they take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just how they've been playing, I'm going to have to give the Bengals the L here. As much as I hate to do it, I think the Steelers get it. So now at 4-8, their season is over. Except if they win out, I think it's going to be against the Cowboys. I think they get it done. So they play the Cowboys. I think they're going to win that one 24-10. Then they take on the Titans. I think they get it done. So 6-8 going into Cleveland, a must win. I think they win that one as well. Then they host the Broncos in week 17, and I think Bengals get it done there. So they've won. That's 4 in a row. So Bengals winning 4-0, a must win. Week 18, maybe get in the playoffs. I think they get it done. So I see the Bengals ending off the season. They really show up at the end of the season. So I have the Bengals going 9-8. Alright, folks. So finally, we're going to end this episode off with some NASCAR trivia. And since Philip has no competition, I'm going to ask you guys to play along in the comments. And then let's see who wins, the viewers or Philip. So the first question I have for you guys is, what team does Kyle Larson drive for? Is it A, Hendrick Motorsports, B, Joe Gibbs Racing, C, Team Penske, or D, Team Trackhouse?
I think you had it in the other episode, like 2 episodes ago. You put what team he played for. I kind of don't remember, if I'm being honest. I'm just going to go with C. Team Penske. That's probably not it, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
you are incorrect. It is A. Hendrick Motorsports.
Oh.
So the second question is, what NASCAR team has won 3 championships in a row with Logano and Blaney? Is it A. Team Penske, B. 2311, C. Hendrick Motorsports, or D. Joe Gibbs Racing?
Oh, you said Larson was for Hendrick, so I'm gonna go Penske again because it was there twice.
All right, you are correct. It is A. Penske. Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney has won 3 championships combined. The last 3, and both all drove for Penske. All right, so what driver won the NASCAR Cup Series championship in 2017? A. Kyle Larson, B. Kyle Busch, C. Martin Truex, or D. Chase Elliott?
I'm not too good on Cup Series. I'll just go C, like the first one. I'll just go Martin
Truex is
I-
correct.
Oh.
So, the answer is C. Martin Truex. So, what manufacturer in NASCAR had the most race wins in this past season? Is it Ford, Chevy, or Toyota?
Oh wait, this I actually know. It's Chevy. Chevy, right? I
Yeah,
think.
you are correct. It was Chevy. Chevy. All right, and the final question is, how many NASCAR races are there in a season? Is it A, 24, B, 32, C, 36, or D, 98?
I don't think it's 98, just because that's a lot of racing. I'll just go 36.
You are correct.
Oh wow.
So Philip will wind up getting 4 out of the 5 questions right. I want to see in the live chat, what did you guys get? And yeah, so we are the Soma Sports Broadcasting Club. See you next week.